Hey, okay, so this would be my first book review, and although this is not the first book that I've read, I've read a couple of books, but this is the most recent so far, and it was so captivating that I had to do a book review of it. It's called it's called A Thousand Splendid Suns. As you can see, there's a woman here depicted with hijab, that long abayas, and I believe it is the character Miriam, but obviously there's two main female characters in the story, which is Miriam and Layla, and I found them to be the most like really inspiring characters, especially going through the situations of what was going through in Afghanistan in the 19th century, and even up to now, it's a lot of people are still recovering from the dramatic events that had happened, and I think that Miriam's ending was very disappointing as well, because I thought that she begins her life really sad. Really, I mean, her mother was always calling her this name, Harami, all because she was born out of wedlock. Her father, Jalil Khan, didn't really accepted her, into his home. He was quite embarrassed about her, so she really, struggled with her parents, and struggled with finding that love that she and any woman deserved, especially growing up as a child. So it was always these kinds of emotional abuse she was going through, and even until that tragic moment when she left her mother to go visit her dad. She wanted to go visit her dad for and go to spend time with her siblings, and go to the cinema, I believe, and her father wasn't there, technically wasn't there. So she ended up being on the street. Like, she decided to be on the street. She didn't want to go home. She was waiting for her father, but he didn't show up. And obviously her mother did warn her before that, oh, if you go alone, obviously I have this problem, right? The mother has this gin problem. So if she gets really angry or something like that, she gets affected by the jinn. And the jinn, in the Islamic perspective, is believed to be beings that are separate from us humans. I mean, they're beings that cannot be seen, and obviously they can channel through some human bodies, if if that human being is very weak towards it, I think. And so basically, the mother had that problem, and the daughter, she didn't really thought that her mother would get hurt. But then when she came back after that long waiting and her father did not arrive, and looking humiliated on the street, her mother wasn't there anymore. Her mother practically died. She killed herself. So it was all due to her daughter leaving, because if her daughter was there, her daughter would usually help her during these moments that she would be possessed by that jinn. And I found that really, really sad. especially when it is it's almost like the beginning of the story. And I was like, okay, there has to be a good an happy ending for her. So I was gonna go through this. I was gonna continue to read on, and basically she was with her dad. Now her dad accepted her after that tragic moment, and she met her siblings for the first time. They introduced themselves. Obviously, she was 15, at that time, 15, and obviously just by staying there 2 days, her father already found a suitor for her. So a suitor is someone that she's gonna get married to. So basically, it was a very older man who was like 40, 45 years old. He was struggling to find another wife after his previous wife had died since he was like 30, and his son, who was like 6 or 7. So he was, always looking for a wife. And so basically, she got married to him unwillingly. Obviously, this is not this is not really, Islam. This is not what Islam teaches. But obviously, sometimes over time, religion can be used to religion can be manipulated. That's what I'm saying. So obviously, forced marriage is, forbidden and haram in, Islam. Obviously, she has to consent to it. I mean, arranged marriages are recommended, in order for us to not be in any relationships that may hurt us, like, boyfriend, girlfriend. Sometimes it doesn't go. And yeah, so it's just basically forbidden in Islam. And so basically a marriage is what is allowed. But obviously a woman has to be happy with the choice that with marrying whoever she wishes to marry. So yeah, I found that very disappointing that she didn't get to spend time with her father. And I was like, okay, let me just continue to read on. Maybe there's going to be a happier ending for a happier situation in the future. And until then, the first day she was with her husband. He lives very far, very far. Basically, she was a woman that grew up in Herat. It's Herat, like Herat, in Afghanistan. So she's moving all the way from there to Dagmazan. So it's a very far place. And basically the first day she was like really, really scared, being in this massive house. I mean, it's compared to the size of her, where she used to live with her mother. It was massive, it had windows, it has huge windows, it has kitchen, proper kitchen with utensils. There was 2 bedroom. She was quite happy with that. It's quite an upgrade really for her, and I was really happy for her. I was like, okay, she's probably going to start a new life. She's going to be provided for at least, I mean, not that I'm really happy that she got married to that kind of guy, because he was a smoker as well, like heavy smoker, and he would be angry when he gets home, and obviously he would turn it out on her. But obviously the first few days he was nice to her. He took her out, bought her ice cream, but still he was a little bit protective, because she was telling her that she needs to wear the whole burqa thing now, the whole burqa. So it's quite sweet when a husband is protective of his wife. But I guess you can look at it that way also. But yeah, she grew to be comfortable in it. So she grew to be comfortable in it. But I mean, the more you read about the story, I mean, the other times where he, physically abused her because she didn't cook, the rice properly, or it's like it's just too much to bear, and especially when the physical abuse gets, bloody as well. It gets me frustrated, really. I got really frustrated with the fact that she was a very young girl, and she didn't deserve this. Her, mother died. Her father was ashamed of her. I mean, I'm not really happy about this at all, And the first time she got pregnant, I was like, okay, perhaps this will take take our mind off, some of the bad things that are happening in our marriage. Maybe this baby would, perhaps grant her more happiness, and that's what the character Miriam was also saying in this book, and the baby. Like, he was really protective. Like, the husband's name is Rashid. Sorry for not saying, but his name is Rashid, and basically he was like really protective of her, like, and the baby as well, especially when she was on the bus, and whenever they're traveling, he would be like, if the bus bounces, he would hold her he would hold her belly, and just to make sure that nothing's happening to that baby. I mean, this is another chance for him, basically, for him to have a son. And basically, the baby was delivered. She carried the baby, she nursed the baby, and he was building a crib for the baby. He built a crib for the baby, and then a few days later, baby died. The baby died. So I was a bit upset at that, but I thought that she would try. I thought that she would be, pregnant more, and her faith. One of the other things that captivated me is how strong she kept, during these situations. I mean, women are so privileged in, particular societies, and in particular times as well, because in America, women weren't allowed certain rights, even though it did not even go against the religion, that they were following in Christianity. So I just thought, that us women now in this century, we're a little bit more privileged. I wouldn't say very privileged. I would just say a little bit more privileged. So we, if that kind of abuse was happening in the household, then we have more help, we have more support now than ever than before, and obviously she didn't have that. For example,